we would like to know that as well. I also would like to briefly read a thank you card that is addressed Mayor Soto and trustees and the Village of Hainesville staff. Thank you all so much for the work you put into the Hainesville Holiday Mixer. My kids really enjoyed it. My 5-year-old loved seeing Santa, and I love that I didn't have to take him to the mall. Mrs. Claus was great with the kids too. The goodie bags for the kids were great and very appreciated. I know a lot of work goes into events like this, and I just wanted to take the time to say thank you. It was very fun for my kids and me too. Love the high school kids' music and yummy snacks as well. Thanks again for all your efforts you all put into this fun event. Sincerely, Barb Conant and Joe, Jake, and Josh Conant. So I thought that was really a very lovely thank you. And that is one of the things that I really enjoy about the Holiday Mixer. I think it's a great community event where we all get to see each other and visit. I think it is a neat, intimate opportunity for families to visit with Santa and have their picture ops without having to go to the malls. It's much more intimate. You feel safer these days, I think, here than in the malls as well. And it's not really a very expensive event. It does take time and it does take some effort on the staff and officials, but we really enjoy doing it. It is very gratifying to run that event. So I hope that other residents who haven't come in the past will look to coming next year. I also want to point out one of our regular meeting attendees, former Mayor Ted Mueller, is here tonight. And earlier today I was talking to him and we got some very good news that I reported earlier that Ted has had health challenges, pretty serious. He scared us pretty good for a while there, but I'm happy to report that he is doing much better. He's not quite out of the woods, but he's doing considerably better, and we wish you well, Ted, and we're glad to have you here tonight.
Thank you.
And then one other thing, the clerk, Kathy Metzler, and I were invited, and we both attended the Smoke-Free Illinois anniversary recognition, which was held at the Condell Medical Center in their conference center. And, you know, it's the 5-year anniversary for Smoke-Free Illinois, Smoke-Free Lake County. But what I really loved about this recognition was it was the 10-year anniversary of Reality Illinois, which is a youth group that is high school kids all throughout Lake County who work to make and keep as much of Lake County smoke-free. And now think about this. This started 10 years ago, before Illinois and Lake County were smoke-free. So a lot of these first 5 years kids, they were the one getting the petitions and signatures, and busloads of these kids went down to Springfield when the bill was before the House and the Senate to pass this. They are a great group. They do a lot of neat work. They do a lot of community cleanups. They pick cigarette butts up all over, and you ought to see the barrels, clear plastic barrels, so you can see the butts in there. They've also been campaigning to make park districts smoke-free, and I'm happy to report that the Round Lake Park District was there. One of the park commissioners, Tim Pasternak, did a presentation because the Round Lake Park District was one of the first park districts to go smoke-free. And I think the only area that you're allowed to smoke at all on any property in the Round Lake Area Park District is at the golf course, I think, at what they call the 19th hole. But a lot of these kids did presentations, gave speeches, talked about how they do the work, how they enjoy the work, and they invited back alumni, kids that are now in college. A couple of them have even already graduated, and they talk about what participating in this meant to them, how it helped them change what they chose to do for a living, how it chose, you know, to make a difference in many ways. So it was really neat. So if you see these paper chains, I got 2 up here and a couple in the back. That's links of, anti-smoking language that they wrote on there. So I brought those back just because it really was a neat program. We were really glad we attended. That's all I have. We'll move on to the standing committees, and we'll start with finance. Trustee Daly.
Well, I'm saving my strength for the arrival of the budget request tomorrow. Kelly will be working on for a few weeks. You're due to me on February 4th, and then we'll go back to finance committee and go from there. So it's a big waiting time.
Public Works, Trustee Walkington.
I really don't know what Jeff had or if he's going to show up, but I know the pump in the force main was repaired and replaced, and the chlorine problem at the well has been fixed, but I think also that they did order and put in a new pump at the same time at the well one, where it's been ordered.
No, they haven't put it in. No.
It's been ordered.
But it hasn't been put in.
That's why I had to go. Anyhow, I know there was a problem, and it's going to be rectified. That's all. That's all I have right now.
The question I had that I talked to you earlier about Linda and a couple of other trustees about a bill we paid to have a pump rebuilt. That was a different well. It wasn't the same one that had chlorination.
That wasn't the well.
Enforcement.
Yeah.
Okay.
Different pump.
Different pumps.
And we do have a meeting tomorrow night. If anybody's interested to show up, 6:30, Village Hall. That's all I have.
I did just text Jeff to see if he can make it over here in time to explain some of the work that does need to be done though. So we'll see if he makes it over here in time. They have been building forms, digging around and building forms to pour the concrete for our generator pads because the generators will be arriving next week. And since they were going to be playing with concrete and we have spring-like weather anyway, the sidewalk that was torn up when we had the water main break, they decided they might as well also repair that sidewalk as well. So if you go by there, you can see that it's been dug up and now there's a form there. So, in fact, I think this is a reply from him. 5 minutes. Okay. That ought to work out okay. Public safety, Trustee Crease.
Thank you, Mayor. Happy New Year, everyone. The couple of things I got here, well, one of them is that I went out and got some quotes again for the pedestrian crossing signs, the RFPs, and I put it in the budget this year, so to make sure that we...
Did the price go down?
No, the price didn't go down, and it didn't, but one of them actually stayed the same from last year.
Okay.
So that's not too bad. So I got that, and another thing is our next safety meeting is going to be January 22nd. And I just got a note here that January is the Radon Awareness Month. Okay, so if you haven't had your basement or your crawl space tested, suggest that you probably do so. There's been a lot of changes, I guess, and I'm not sure of all of the radar testing and what has to be done. And I know a person that's in this field, and he said he's very, very busy because of the laws that have changed lately.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. And there's a lot of, there's a lot of health issues that could be, that are created by radon gases and everything else. So
What is the danger level, like, is that level changed, the warning level, or is it just the testing?
I think it's more the testing.
Okay.
That, if you're, I'm assuming that if somebody, most of them, when you're buying new properties, it's almost, I think, we're required. Some
I'm going to make Russ pipe up. Russ, you hear we're talking about radon? That's not an issue around here typically, or no? Okay. No, sir.
Pardon me? If the
Microphone.
If the ground is granite, you've got problems if you're building on granite.
We got lots of hard clay. Clay and peat. That's our
So we don't have the stuff that got over here.
So that's good news. But if you have relatives or friends living in other areas, it's a good thing to pass on to them.
Depends if you like it.
Okay.
Jeremy, you're always good for
Oh, goodness.
nobody's called you either. Jeremy. But that's about it, that's all I got.
Okay, Wally. Oh, dear. Okay, we will move on to wetlands and open spaces, Georgiana.
Yes, there'll be a change this coming year. The wetland committee has tried feverishly to make the entrances look good using native plants because they use less water and it ties in with our restoration effort at Cranberry Lake. However, it's been trying to fit a square peg in a round hole. What we wanted it to look like and what it has looked like just doesn't match. So we're turning over the entrances back to Public Works, and it looks like we will be looking into hiring a landscaping firm that will prepare the entrances in the spring, plant the flowers, maintain it, clear out the weeds, and prepare the soil in the fall. So, but we will still be working on the open spaces and the ponds and the wetlands. And I'm working on the budget and hope that we will be able to make the open spaces and the ponds look as pretty as the entrances are expected to be.
Okay, great, thank you very much. Community Relations, Trustee Duranowski is not present. I think Jeff just came in, but let's move on to business item 1, and then I'll give him time to get settled. We have a proclamation, we get this every year from Crime Stoppers. We're happy to support it. It's a proclamation proclaiming January 2013 as Lake County Crime Stoppers Month. If I have a motion for approval.
So
Second.
Okay, roll call.
Trustees Kreese,
Aye.
Duberstein.
Aye.
Barrett.
Aye.
Daly.
Aye.
And Washington.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Okay, and then item number 2, I will not spend any time on discussion. It's just everyone was asked to do their budget drafts, and the deadline date was to have them turned in by tomorrow, January 9th. And I just wanted to quickly go across everyone and poll everyone to see, is it done or will it be turned in tomorrow? Mike Benko is nodding his head. I take that as a yes. Okay, Wally? Okay, Georgian?
be in tomorrow.
Okay. Jeff, how's your budget?
It will be in tomorrow.
Okay.
There's waiting on a couple things from Georgia that we tie together, so.
Russ, do you have a budget item that we should worry about? Okay. What do you got tomorrow to answer me on that?
That's good because we're not getting you one.
Not happened to Kiwanis or what? I wanted to take a vacation. Okay. I gotta figure out.
Gary, you're happy with everything on Public Works?
I haven't seen it.
Well, you got till
So I'm
tomorrow.
pretty happy. He told me it's good. Really good. So I would imagine I'll see Jeff for a while tomorrow. That'd be my input to the.
Jerry,
I don't have one.
smart man. Kevin, any items of concern for you that you would like to make sure is in the
I'd
budget?
like to see that, make sure that we have enough funding to keep our emergency management group working, and that we've already covered my big thing that I've been talking for years, is the generator, so I'm a happy camper. I'm glad to see we're gonna have power for all these buildings. Very important.
I agree.
Thank you.
Thank you. Kathy Metzler.
95% done. I just have to sit with you.
I'll see you in the morning.
Yeah.
And the mayor's budget?
It will be done tomorrow. I'm 92% done. Okay, good. And we have Jeff